Hello everyone, it's that time again. It's South African simGT series time, and this time we had round 2 at Monza.
Iconic track. Some technologically advanced cars.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we're in for an exciting race this evening. Gert, so what do you think is going to happen? See, Gabriel is so quick again after his victory at Mugello. It was round 1, and Gabriel proving fast here at Monza as well.
Yeah, saying Gabriel is fast around any track is like asking whether or not the Pope is Catholic. Gabriel is just insanely quick the last couple of years. No real surprise that it's right up there. Obviously being chased down by a stalwart of Sim South Africa, Bashir Jadwat, and his teammate Marcus Steyn. Some of the less experienced simGT racers in Leslie Oliphant and Wesley Farrant and Nazim Edwards sitting in 4th, 5th and 6th currently. Chris Heineke, also old face of simGT series of yesteryear, sitting in 7th. Currently 8th. Matthew Boy and Amrish Sunarain rounding off the top 10 so far in qualification. Expect a lot of these times to be a lot quicker. Maybe keep an eye out for Amrish Sunarain as well. There's a big chance that he might actually squeeze a top 5 starting position here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think another man to keep a lookout for is Leslie Oliphant, who recently rejoined the championship, winning first time out this season in the M2 series, which was a big surprise to everybody, and expect him to be fast in the RPM Racing Audi as well, so he could be one to look out for. Then again we have Gustav Jacobs too, again in 4th position, as you did say, Gert. We're interested to see how those two get on this evening. Wesley Farrant 2 in the Lamborghini in 6th position, if I'm not mistaken. And Nazim Edwards 2 in 7th. Chris Heineke in 8th. Looking quick towards the final part of the final practice session in 8th position only. He'll be looking to improve if he can. I do believe he's doing about a 48.6, which would put him right up there in 4th position. Let's see if Chris can pull that off again in qualifying. But yes, down the order, you did mention Amrish Sunarain, of course, doing well. Top 10 at the moment. Edwin Govender in 11th. Jamal Gandor, he is racing for the first time ever this evening with us for the SRME team. He is there together with teammate Hatim Abdel Kader. Forgive me if I do pronounce that name wrong, Hatim. But if I'm getting it wrong, please let me know and I will correct myself for the following stream. Brandon Smith, late entry this evening. His teammate Shan Lopsha. Ill this evening, not able to race, but it was able to bring Brandon Smith as next in line from the last chance qualifying session that happened over the weekend. And Arthur van der Westhuizen, first time in this series split in the South African simGT, starts from 6th or division in 16th position. Peter Kelnes in 17th, he'll be looking to go quicker than that. And Hatim, of course, in 18th. Chad Cook in 19th, and Stefan Sparks in 20th for Sparks Racing. But we still do have 5 minutes remaining of the session. Let's see if anybody can take it to Gabriel, but he has got a healthy, what's that? Yeah, good 0.3 of a second back to Bashir Jadwat. But yeah, at the moment it's Audi domination here at Monza. But certainly the fast nature of this track suiting the Audi as well, as it did in Mugello, of course. We're going to go down the list to see who's bettering their best delta time. Marcus saying it's not going quicker, but Gustav Jacobs is. He's up 0.2 of a second up on his best delta time. Let's see what he can get out of it in the Smith Racing Audi. He keeps his 0.2 up. Oh, he won't improve, but he'll be closer to Leslie Oliphant. Of course, I'm Jason Holden-Jones. I'm joined by James, my co-commentator this evening. And we've just got 3 minutes remaining of the session. What's going to happen? Gustav Jacobs still looking to better his time. Maintain that 0.2 improvement. Can he get it done? Oh, he's got it all wrong. Yeah, he's losing time down the back straight. And he's not going to improve, unfortunately, unless he comes with some magic corner. Through the last section.
Try as you might, knowing what your best qualification time could theoretically be. If you just run into traffic, there's nothing you can do about it. 15 minutes is all you get for qualification.
Marcus then was improving, but he's lost time again. And we're going to go down the order to see Gustav Jacobs again looking quicker. 0.3 up on his best time, so looking to improve. He's pushing as hard as he can. And this will be his second last flying lap, if I'm not mistaken. Should be able to get around again to start another one. But 0.3 up on his delta time. Looking strong here for Jacobs. Looking to challenge Chris Heenop for that 5th position if he can. We're going to go on board with him. 4.10 now. Looking for 5.10 if he can do it. Yes, he's there. Losing a bit of time there, Gert.
Yes, it's a very difficult corner to get right then. It's one of those corners where you just need to feed it in with your left foot on the brake. Dab it in, let the front tires bite a bit, just to rotate the car into the corner.
But somebody recovering on the side of the track. I didn't quite catch who that was. Looked like a pink Audi to me. Gustav looking for a good run now to the final corner. Oh, wide entry.
Corner that.
Yeah. He's going to improve. But it will not gain him a position, unfortunately. Ten seconds remaining of this session. Jadwat still second quickest. Leslie Oliphant looking to improve if he can. I don't think he's going to cross the line before the session comes to an end, however.
We are always so quick to point out how some of the drivers in the midfield are always improving, which they often are, that you tend to lose perspective a little bit, because Gabriel was so. He is never satisfied with his finishing position. He always believes there's something he can do better, getting more consistent. Squeeze a few more tenths or a few more hundredths of a second out here or there around this corner. And one of the hardest working sim races that I know. And just looking at the time that he's put up for qualification here tonight, that just goes to show that whether or not you're at the top of your game or not, you can always improve, which is what he's basically showing here. He's been consistently improving over the last year and a half in simGT. Whether or not he's running at the front or in the mid-pack, he's consistently improving.
Yeah, something that Gabriel has imparted to me is every time he goes out for practice, he tries to take a corner differently every time. And he'll do that for a couple of days. And just experimenting with each corner. And slowly dialing himself in, even before he makes any setup changes. And yeah, I think that's a trick to finding the pace and getting to grips with the car before making changes to it. You know, often we think, oh no, it's a setup all the time. It's, you know, the setups of the car is not right, but you know, of course, it's all about you. Of course, the way you drive the car in the end.
Absolutely, he's definitely one of the most consistent sim racers that I know, and that I've had the pleasure of driving with, not just here but in international competitions as well. He is phenomenal. Extremely consistent, very hard on himself. Puts in some serious hours. He's one of those classic examples of the more you practice, the luckier he gets.
Absolutely, and we're about a minute away before the start of the formation lap. We have 20 cars on the grid, raring to go for this hour-and-a-half race, around 50 laps here at Monza. And don't forget, each driver has to do a mandatory pit stop, so an element of strategy does come into it. To see which tyres the drivers have decided to start the race with, and when they'll do their pit stop. That will be exciting to watch, no doubt.
I've heard a little birdie say that there's a chance that some of these cars might actually use softs for a certain portion of the race.
Oh wow.
Because one or two of these cars apparently can get around the track on a one-stopper with soft tyres, but it's a bit touch and go to make it work. So if you can extend your first run on mediums or take an extended second run on mediums, then by all means, then there's some room to maybe use a soft tyre for a stint somewhere.
As the drivers leave the grid, we're going to make sure that we move the commentators' cars to the pit lane, which we've all done. 3 cars in the pits, great stuff. We now watch Gabriel so for mixed racing white, if I'm not mistaken. His team, he leads the rest of the field around this circuit. And they'll do one formation lap, where Gabriel then bunch the field towards the end of the lap and then start the race from the entry to the final corner. And of course, you know what can happen at turn 1 at Monza, of course, and we're hoping it's not going to happen this time.
Now we're hoping that all of the drivers can put to use all of that experience they've picked up in M2 racing, open racing, some GT racing, and be very aware and obviously make use of all the aids that you do have, like Heli Corsa, to make sure that you don't take someone out going into the first corner.
Absolutely.
Sometimes erring on the side of caution, a little bit of common sense. It's all you need to see at the end of the race without a banged up car.
Very good evening to Boyd Brass in the YouTube chat. Welcome, sir.
Mr. Bryson, why don't you join us in commentary?
Gabriel now leading the field down the back straight for the last time before the start of this race. Got Bashir Jadwat getting some off-road action onto the grass. Not quite sure if that was an avoidance or what happened there. Anyway, everyone's still safe and sound. Gabriel weaving side to side, trying to get some heat into those tires.
To no avail.
Yeah, and off we go. The race started. Gabriel's run slightly wide. And Bashir get a run on him. He's right with him down the main straight we go. Let's go here at
Immediately
Monza.
gone defensive.
Here comes Bashir.
There's no way he's moving over to the actual racing line. There's not a chance he's doing that.
Yeah, he's gone defensive. Bashir's going to try to go around him if he can. He'll be brave. Oh, Jed Watts outbraked himself. Yes, he's outbraked himself. So Jadwat's going to fall down here. Marcus Steyn, Jadwat's teammate, will slip by into second. Will Leslie Oliphant also get around on him? Yes, he will. Oliphant up into third position for RPM Sim Racing Team. So Jadwat's with an area there at the start. He didn't have to do that, but he went for it. Oliphant now under pressure from Jadwat, of course. And we got a car off in the background. That is one of the new Ghostworks Racing recruits. That was Chris Heenop, if I'm not mistaken. HRT falling away and becoming part of Ghostworks. The big news in the championship at the moment. Heenop down to 6th position after that excursion. And then trying to chase some Gustav Jacobs now. Jacobs now finds himself into 5th position. So a great start here for our rookie driver. Jacobs also leading the AM class, GT AM, for drivers in their first season at SimRace South Africa, in their Pro Series season, of course. Heenop under pressure from the Lamborghini of Wesley Ferrant. And the Lamborghini is very quick in the straight line. Let's go on board with Ferrant and see how quick it is against the Audi down the main straight. Looks like Chris Heenop has got a slightly better exit out of that corner hat. So let's see what the Lamborghini can do. You can see him gaining slightly already, but it's not enough.
Now you need to be on the back of the Audi on the exit of a corner like that in order to make it work for you down the straight. Oh my word! Trying to brake a little bit too late. Evasive maneuver on the outside of Chris Heenop.
Great to see the field so nicely punched up even after 3 laps of racing. The quality of the field showing now. As we saw Mugello, I beg your pardon. And we're going to have a look at Oliphant in 3rd position. He's right with Marcus Steyn. Trying to force him into an area if he can, but Oliphant looking very dangerous here at Monza. Looking comfortable as well in the 369 Audi. Oh, and Steyn's made an error. Oliphant's not quite close enough.
How much time will he lose because of those 2 wheels outside the track? Doesn't look like he's lost too much. Especially at the start of this race, we're going to see a lot of cars going defensive into corners. Just the nature of the beast.
That's a late cut turn in there by Oliphant's got a good run out of the corner by doing that. Very interesting stuff here by Leslie. And he's in the slipstream of Steyn. He's going to have a go at him, surely. Steyn's gone defensive, of course. Oliphant fakes left and he goes right. Hey, that's what we like to see, Cat. Down the main straight we go, heading towards turn 1. Shirley's going to have him. Oliphant's going to try and get it right under braking. Steyn, of course, very often the brakes himself. No, Steyn outbrakes him. So great stuff there by the Ghostworks driver. And runs Leslie wide as well. So experience showing there by Steyn. Yeah.
Leslie Oliphant had him under braking. He had the racing line into the corner. But Marcus Steyn held his nerve, kept himself on the inside and just powered away from him after the chicane.
Oliphant he'll be needing to be patient here. It's clearly faster than Steyn, but he's got to be careful not to force an error. for himself, not just Stan, but he's piling on the pressure. And of course, Gabriel so is disappearing up the road to the tune of about a 4-second lead. But I think if Oliphant can get past Stan, I think he could match Rousseau for pace at this stage with the way he's driving. Let's see if he can prove me wrong or right. Edward in 4th position, Jacobs in 5th, Heineken in 6th, Barant in 7th. He has the battle for 8th position. Azim Edwards, new signing for Ghostworks. He's got Matthew Boy in the Ferrari all over him. Let's go on board with Boy to see the power of the Ferrari down the main straight. Looking for a wide exit. Now go under the bridge.
Under the bridge being... Oh, can he take you? Yes, he can!
Lily's gonna have him. Yeah, so Boy forcing that error from Edwards. Edwards gonna try to go around him.
Oh, my word! Was that Amrish Sunarain being taken out there? Yes, it was.
What's happened to Amrish? There he is recovering in 13th position.
Oh, my word. It might be a race investigation after that one. Either someone there forgot that his brake pedal is in the middle, or got seriously distracted.
Who was it with Sunarain, Kat? Was it...
I'm not entirely sure. I think it may have been Brent. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't want to accuse anyone of of an error there.
Back on board with Leslie Oliphant. Still trying to take it to Marcus Stan. And Gabriel so slowly edging away. Got about a 4.5 second lead.
Leslie Oliphant on?
Leslie Oliphant is on the soft tyre. Interesting.
Marcus
and Stan's on the medium, and Rousseau's on the medium.
Now, see, that's the thing. It's usually not a wise decision to come out on soft tyres if you are, if you're not at least in 2nd position. In 3rd, you are inevitably going to be quicker than the car in front of you. You are going to be fighting with a guy, and you're going to be wearing your soft tyres way too quick. Your practices that you ran without cars in front or behind you, where you squeezed 20 laps out of your soft tyres, you're not going to get anywhere near it. You're going to be lucky if you get 15 out of them. So, I'm not sure whether or not it was the right call to start on soft tyres this early on. Or in that starting position that he had.
Yeah, so this will be making Oliphant even more anxious to get past Stan, because he knows he'll know that his soft tires are starting to wear pretty quickly, and he'll be starting to feel the car move around.
And with it, will also you will lose his chances of catching Rousseau.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I think the fall off might already be starting to happen. You see, he's 8 tenths down on Stan, where he was just 2 tenths behind him just a couple of laps ago. Unless an error by Leslie Oliphant happened, we didn't quite see that. But yeah,
because the laptop advantage you'll only have until the yellow tires start moving in, or the soft tires start moving into the yellow wear range, and that's not going to take too long to do around this track. Maybe around about 7 laps, 8 laps at most. Leslie Oliphant making up a little bit of time now to Marcus Steyn. There's of course another dynamic with the tyres right now. The medium tyres of Marcus Steyn will actually cool down to the point of being quite blue going into corners, which means there will be a loss of grip for someone on the medium tyres going into any one of the chicanes. Whereas Leslie Oliphant will have workable tyres for the duration of the lap, where it may or may not slightly overheat in the trickier sections, but will then have ample time to cool down again before the next corner.
Now there's a good chance here for Oliphant. On board with him now. He's got a good run on Steyn. Steyn's gone defensive. He's going to try to go around the outside. Can he do it?
He's on soft tyres. He's going to do it.
Can, is he? Run slightly wide. He's got the better drive. I think Steyn might have it. They're going to go side by side on the main straight nonetheless. Dead even. He's got it under braking. Steyn proved the better under braking the last time though in the situation. And Steyn's got him.
Holding on for dear life.
Yeah, Steyn lives for another lap at least. Survives another second attempt from Oliphant. Fantastic battle between these two guys. Brilliant stuff. And the same thing happening between these two. Bashir Jadwat and Gustav Jacobs. Same situation as the other two in front of them. Jadwat on the medium tyre and Jacobs on the soft tyre. Those two strategies clashing at the moment. Jadwat doing a bit of rallycross there briefly, not too long. And,
the battle between Leslie and Marcus Steyn is actually playing into the hands of Bashir Jadwat as well, because it afforded him the opportunity to actually close the gap. I think Bashir found his way past Gustav after dropping back to about 5th or 6th at the start of the race. Now currently in 4th, barely a second behind Leslie Oliphant. But that gap though between Marcus Steyn and Gabriel Rousseau, my word. If something is not done soon, that gap is just going to continue to grow. You don't want to give that man in front that big a gap. You'll grab it and run away with it.
Oliphant now looking, is he going to go for it? No, he's not. Upside of it. So they're going to hang with Steyn. Back on board with Oliphant.
The temptation must be immense to have a big dive down the inside on the soft tyres. Great to see some restraint from him though.
Oh, he's outbraked himself. Yeah, he's outbraked himself. That watch will be right with him now. Will he? No, it's a bit further back. That watch starting to move away from Jacobs. Jacobs perhaps struggling with that soft tyre. Chris Heineke in 6th position. Ferrant in 7th, the first of the non-Audi runners. The Lamborghini. And then we've got the Ferrari of Matthew Boy in 8th position for Synergy Racing.
Bashir now up to half a second behind Leslie Oliphant. And this is the point where you're going to start wondering whether or not your decision to run on soft tyres was a great one or not. Because the drop off from here will be immense. Your lap times will start leveling out with those on medium tyres. It will overheat a little bit more in the more strenuous corners, and once it starts wearing rapidly around about lap 13 or 14 or 15, you're going to have a serious drop-off on lap times, but to the tune of about 1.5 to 2 seconds per lap. Ashir's just sitting there waiting.
Engine covered, having a strong run. Top 10 for him at the moment. Smith in 11th position. Brandon Smith in 12th is having a good run this evening. And Amrish Rain down in 13th with the second-hand looking Audi R8. After the incident we mentioned earlier, Sinrain will be looking to come back after that. In fact, his driver's glass is broken on his side, so hard impact there for Sinrain. Calvin is down in 15th position. His teammate Chris Langenfeld not able to race this evening, unfortunately. Our team in 16th position for the SRME Porsche. He's down there together with teammate Jamal in 17th. The difficult first race for these two guys this evening, but great to have them with us. We look forward to seeing how they improve through the rest of the scene. Chad Cook in 18th position. Stephen Sparks in 18th. Stunning looking livery there for Sparks Racing. Gabriel Rousseau will come through to start lap 11 or 50. 2/10 up on his best half the time. Absolutely flying at the moment.
And probably one of the only cars with not a dent on it.
The Shejadwad is left, Gustav Jacobs behind, and now it's starting to take it to Leslie Oliphant. I think that soft tire is starting to let go. Unless the drivers are starting to manage them.
It's not a pleasant feeling. I've been there. It's not a pleasant feeling when your soft tires go and you know there's someone behind you, like just waiting like a shark.
Yeah. Just hurrying you up and putting the pressure on.
And every corner you take, you look down at your tire meter to make sure that your tires are still within range. Operational range. When you see them get a little bit too red, your heart sinks. You hope you don't spin, powering out of a corner. And it's around about this time that you might start thinking that the gamble definitely didn't pay off.
Oh, big moment there for Judd Watts. Using a bit too much curb. Lost a bit of time there to Oliphant. Jamal Gando is in the pits, our first pit stopper. I'm not sure if he's got a problem, but quite an early stop there for SRME.
Was he on the soft tires at the start of the race?
Cannot recall at the moment. Quite possibly. Peter Calvin says, I think, rejoined the server. He's down a lap. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. Perhaps a disconnect for Peter Calvines and Team Redline Racing. Not nice. And Arthur van der Wesen also is retired from the race, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate.
Oliphant's starting to come back now at Stain. He's got the gap down to 0.7 of a second. Moved away from Judd Watts somewhat. Like I said, perhaps just managing the tires, backing off for a couple of laps and then piling the pressure on again. Perhaps his strategy of driving the car this evening. Jacobs too is starting to creep up on Judd Watts. He's got that gap down to just a second. Calvines has got going again. Great to see. That never die attitude coming through there from Peter Calvines. Jumps straight back into the 7 and keeps going. Great to see. Ever since Steyn moved away from Oliphant to sort of stabilize that gap to Gabriel Rousseau. The gap staying at around 8 seconds, so that's very interesting. Yeah, but you never, perhaps Russo's also managing those tires, trying to get those mediums to go even longer. I wouldn't put it past him at all.
So such a smooth driver. He might actually have found a way to make super softs last for an entire 50 laps if you ask them nicely.
Watching Nazim Edwards in the Ghostworks Audi. Under pressure from Adrian Govender, the Rad Racing Audi. Govender's got a good run on him now. He's gone board with Adrian. It's not quite close enough to do anything about him at the moment.
Too much speed,
Both of them, yeah. Seemed like Adrian followed Nazim through those two corners.
When in doubt, brake when you are perfectly underneath that bridge. Dab at the brakes, get the nose to turn in.
Yeah, it's got run him, I think. Is he gonna go for it? No, upside of it. Wise decision, I think. Looking for a good drive. No, can he do it?
Get the drive.
Get the slipstream. Yes, he's got it. Let's see what Adrian does now. Nazim goes defensive, of course. To go around him, can he do it? Running wide. He's had to get out of the throttle, unfortunately. But I think he's done enough, has he?
No, I think there's still a bit of work to do.
Yeah, there's. Now, will Nazim go late on the brakes? I think Adrian's just edging for the moment. Yes, Adrian's got him. Great move there from Adrian Govender.
Might have been a little bit of a scrape there. But he got through, no serious issues.
But as we say, rubbing is racing. And Govender now back to 9th position. He'll be looking to take it to Matthew Boy, but he's around 4.5 seconds behind him. It's a bit of work to do that. For that, now we're going to go back to the battle for 2nd position. Olifant is right with Steyn now.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to turn ugly very quickly. Made up a huge amount of ground. Got to within 0.2 of a second, backed out.
Mistake there by Steyn. Can Oliver get a better drive now? No, he doesn't. The Amrish Sinrain has put a move on Brent Lindsay Ray for 12th position. We should try and get back to that battle if we can.
Brent's gotten back past him.
It's the battle for 12th position. As you say, Gert, yeah, Lindsay Ray's got him back, and that's invited Nazim Edwards to the part 2, is seemingly fallen back somewhere off camera. A ding-dong battle here for 12th position. All Audi affair once again. Oh,
11 out
Sinray.
of 10 need to nerf that Audi.
Yeah, Sinray just clipping the barrier there in mid-apex. Oh, does Edwards is tagged Sinray again. Sinray
My
moving
word.
aside. Edwards is going to run on Sinray. I think he's going to take him, yeah. Edwards up into 13th position. A bit of a bump and run there, if I ever saw one.
Oh, my word.
Sinray's gone off. I think that bumps us on nerves in a rain.
No,
I think
the aerodynamics on that car is busted.
Could be a bit of damage. You can see it moving around, yeah, as you said that.
Here we go. Leslie with a run on Marcus. I doubt he's going to take him into this corner unless he's really brave.
Yeah, surely he's going to do it now. Dan's going to have to concede. Yes, he does.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, he always gets it wrong. Pushing very hard. Someone's gone off. But yeah, Olifant's got his man in the end. Good patience game there by Olifant. Not a maturity coming through there in the RPM Audi. Waited for that right moment and he finally got him. No, that was about the third or the fourth attempt. I think it was the third proper attempt on Stan. It's paid off. Stan's going to try and come back at him if he can before he gets away.
But this is now exactly where it's going to become interesting, because it's around about this time that the soft tires is going to start letting go. Now, he's now going to start feeling the pressure from Marcus Steyn behind him. He needed to have gotten past Marcus Steyn at least 5 laps ago to maybe have a 4-second gap to Marcus Steyn round about this time. Having passed him now, he's going to have to work really hard to keep Marcus behind him until it's time for a pit stop.
Absolutely, and we see, as we said, we see an area there by Olifant's given Steyn a good run on him, and I think Steyn's going to have a go at him to turn 1. Side by side we go. And there goes Bashir Watt just behind them too, and Steyn's going to go on the outside. What a fight we've got on our hands here. And Steyn's going to run Olifant wide. Of course, it's going to bring Judd Watt into the action. Here he comes, 3-way battle now for second position. Olifant in the Ghostworks sandwich.
Not an enviable position to be in. I'm going to tell you straight out.
Absolutely not. Oh, and Olifant's made an error. Olifant has made an error. He goes back to 4th position.
I'm telling you,
up into 3rd.
Those soft tires have given up the ghost. No pun intended.
Now, will we see a team order play by Ghostworks to let Judd Watt past Steyn in order for Judd Watt to hopefully go after Rousseau, or will they hold station?
I will be very surprised if that's the case.
I don't know. Ghostworks are known for their team plays. Let's see what they do. Well, we see a Hamilton-Bottas-esque deal where, you know, when the last race Hamilton went past Bottas and said, if I can't get past whoever it was in front of me, I'll let you back past for the end of the race.
I'm pretty sure Marcus Steyn will take issue with the fact that you could just compare him to Bottas.
No, just between two teammates, no references made. I'm just talking about the play that might happen. But no, Judd Watt is staying in 3rd position. Ghostworks comfortable to let their drivers fight it out. Of course, Gabriel is loving this. He's smiling to the tune of about a 15-second lead at the moment. Building the gap before the first pit stop. First pit stop stage. Or phase, should I say. Let's go back to 7th position. And Matthew Boy is now under pressure from Gustav Jacobs. Jacobs down to 8th position.
Matthew's been making his way up slowly up the field, finding himself in 7th position now. Chris Heineke crept up the board again. Up to 5th.
He's in 5th.
Amri Sunarain has lost a lot of time. I wonder if that was an early pit stop to maybe switch tires and repair damage.
Yeah, we did see him in the pits earlier.
Back now.
Yeah, we did see him pit earlier. But he's on the medium tire, and I think he'll be able to go to the end of the race on that strategy. So perhaps that'll be his play. You see Jadwat now right with Stain.
The thing is, if Gabriel Rousseau is delaying a pit stop in order to put the softs on for a last stint of maybe 16 laps towards the end on softs, I'm telling you now, that young man is going to be disappearing like mist in front of the sun on a cold winter's morning in Cape Town.
Oh, Smith is going to go around the outside of Governor. What a move at turn 1.
He pitched himself on top of a sausage and around goes the driver. Bashir Jadwat just went past Marcus. They're side by side. No!
You wouldn't think those two were teammates, would you?
No! Definitely not. They're racing each other.
And Olifant is having a good laugh there. He's catching up there in 4th position in the green Audi. RPM sim racing team Audi.
Oh, and he's making a move up the inside again. I'm telling you, there's no team orders there.
Oh, Jadwat's run wide. And of course, here comes Olifant. I think he might have them both. Watch this now.
Oh, up the middle.
Oh, Olifant's got them both.
Up the middle. This is insane.
Ghostworks will be kicking themselves at the moment as they see the RPM sim racing team Audi flash through them between them, and off he goes. Leslie Olifant into 2nd position, and he will leave those Ghostworks Audis to fight it out as much as they can. But yeah, that was absolutely insane.
I remember Commentator at the Le Mans race of last season. No way, no way.
Contact.
There's no team orders there. I remember the commentator saying it's absolutely mental. And it's exactly what we're seeing here.
Fantastic racing between the two guys, but it won't do their what's the word? Ambitions for the race any good if they continue this, because Leslie Olifant's going to disappear up the road in 2nd. If these two guys don't get their act together, it's great to watch and it's fantastic and everything, but I'm afraid they're losing time to the man in front of them.
Well, they clearly set out to race each other if that was going to be the case. And you know something? Kudos to them for having that kind of mentality in a team scenario. You don't see that often.
Yeah, but I mean, we've always seen sort of Jadwat slightly ahead of Stain all the time, and perhaps Stain is out to make a point this evening to show that I can do this too.
He's trying to pull a Barrichello on Schumacher here.
Yeah. Rousseau now with a solid 17-second gap to the rest of the field. And the question is, how long can Leslie Oliphant make those softs last for?
No, I don't think it's quite 17 seconds. I think it's probably
No,
closer to about
the
13.
time's dropped, isn't it? No, Rousseau's still okay. He's 10th up on his best after time.
Oh, no, look,
Yeah.
he's going to be as consistent as ever. It's just that the timing thing is very, very weird. Once a car becomes or gets that far ahead, timing plays a few tricks on the eyes. Like I said, he's probably closer to about 13 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I've just done a count now. It's about 11 seconds. Perhaps a tick more. So this race is by no means over. And Oliphant's now bettering his best delta time at the moment, starting to pull away from Stan and Jadwat.
Whoa. Getting dangerously close to putting the car on a wall there. All you need is 2 wheels on the grass. And this little chicane is one of the most crucial chicanes on the entire track because it sets you up for the straight down here, the corner up front, and then the start-finish straight. If you mess up this corner, you have literally chucked half a second to a second away. All the way down to the start-finish line.
Watching the first of our non-Audi runners, Wesley Front in 6th position in the Lamborghini. And he's fighting it out with Matthew Boy in the Ferrari. Behind them is a a spin here for Gustav Jacobs on the soft tire, perhaps giving up. Doing a burn up, that won't do to the tires any good.
Matthew
Gustav
Boy
Jacobs
looks like he wants to challenge Wesley Farran for that 6th position.
Yeah, let's go and have a look there.
Oh, what are
He's
you
outbraked
doing?
himself. He's outbraked himself.
Oh dear.
So that will, Wesley Front will be breathing a sigh of relief, but he hasn't dropped back by far, not at all. But
Yeah,
Matthew Boy doing the right
I
thing and
think
just
he
backed
knew.
off.
He
Yeah.
knew.
Boy made a mistake and he just backed off and let Front pass. Great sportsmanship there by Matthew Boy. As we've come to expect in this championship, the quality of driving and the way everyone's conducting themselves is world class here at Sim Race South Africa. And if you want a sim racing league to join, this is the one for you. You're welcome to join our website at simracesa.co.za. Register on the forum, put your name down for your first ever open race with us, and come see what we're about. And then come and join us in the Pro Series.
I would love to see Gabriel Rousseau stretching his first stint as deep as he possibly can and exiting the pits on soft tires. I want to see what the effect of that move will be.
Jamal Gondor joining us for the first time ever this evening, a GT Academy finalist, joining us at Sim Race South Africa. His first ever race with us, currently down in 17th position for SRME. It's okay. Getting to grips with Sim Race South Africa's Pro Series, South African simGT Series. And we look forward to seeing him progress in the championship as we go. Oh, mistake there. Jamal. Oh, keeps it on the wall, thank goodness. But he's going to let Oliphant put a lap on him. Dan as well, of course.
I'm pretty sure you'll forgive me for saying that Assetto Corsa is not Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Grass is actually very slippery. Assetto Corsa.
Absolutely.
Not just a reduced grip tarmac like it is in Gran Turismo.
Yeah. And Jamal, if I'm not mistaken, joining us from Beirut this evening with his teammate Hatem, I think also from Beirut, I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I'm wrong, guys. We're great to get that international flavor at SimRace South Africa.
So we had a Mauritian.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of guys from outside of the country driving here with us.
Yeah.
Last simGT season we had a German driving here with us. Let's not forget Mr. Bastian Spitzner.
Yeah, that's the man. Yes, Hatem is Egyptian born, but lives in the United Arab Emirates. That's obviously where he's driving from this evening. And Jamal, his teammates is from Lebanon. Yeah. And they got fantastic looking livery in that Porsche. Very nice and professional looking. Chris Haneke now up into 4th position. We see Marcus Steyn in the pits. Interesting strategy, bro. Goes to works. Halfway stage of the race, pulls in to pull in Marcus Steyn in 3rd. But Chris Haneke looking very strong now. It wasn't 4th, now up to 3rd, of course, after Steyn comes into the pits.
Ashir Jadwat also had an early pit, currently sitting in 12th.
Jadwat's also into, yeah. A lot's happened while I was checking up on my information about our two drivers. Rousseau is staying out a bit longer. I think he might be right, Cat. Matthew Boy also into the pit lane now. Brandon Smith too, and against all the odds, Porsche.
Brent Lindsay Ray currently finding himself in 7th after dropping down the board to about 13th, 14th position earlier after an incident. Let's wait and see whether or not that position that he's currently running is because of everyone else pitting.
And Marcus Steyn netting a 2-second, sort of increasing his gap back to Jadwat up to the pit stop to around 3 seconds. He's staying the winner out of that pit stop round compared to his teammate Jadwat.
RNG favouring him.
Yeah. Shout out to Philip Lauterkhan in the Facebook Live chat. Yeah, we're missing you too, Philip. You should get back racing with us. Great to have you back.
Too, bud.
Yeah. There's the Oliphant into the pits now from 2nd position. And he comes to see where he comes out in relation to Steyn and Jadwat down in 9th and 10th at the moment. Hopefully he would have had his pit stop setting saved. Looks like he's taking on tires and fuel by that amount of time. He rejoins now. He will rejoin. In front of Steyn and Jadwat, will he? Yes, he will, comfortably. So good stuff there by Leslie. Pakistan has got Nazim Edwards with him. Edwards still to do a pit stop, I would imagine. Lindsay Ray and Govern into the pit lane.
Brent might actually be on his way out soon. Unless he's repairing damage right now, which I think he might be.
Yeah, Lindsay Ray's out.
Because he's been in there for a while. That wasn't just a refuel and tires.
Philip saying soon, so perhaps we can expect to see Philip Lategan back in the championship. That would be fantastic, Philip.
Yeah, but Philip, just remember, your old Macca is now worthless. You're going to have to pick another car, bud.
I may have nerfed it in the balance performance. I'm sorry, Philip. That's why you don't see any of them on the track. I think I might have overdone it. No comment. So now comfortable, of course, ever comfortable. Where's the front now into the pit lane? But Steven Sparks 2 into the pit lane. They're very striking looking
lead. That's a huge lead. But obviously he still needs to pit. Tim Smith finding himself in second place briefly. According to my timing, which has gone all way wire right now.
Tim Smith is in second position. Still to do a pit stop, of course. But let's see what Tim can do with a sort of a longer run. That is a good 50 seconds or more back from Rousseau. So yeah, after the pit stop phase, okay, Tim Smith's still going to do a pit stop, but Leslie Oliphant in third position, Stan in fourth, Jadwat in fifth, nothing changes there. Nazim Edwards in sixth position, I think he still needs to do a stop. Chris Heineke in seventh, Wesley Front in eighth, Matthew Boy ninth, and Brandon Smith top 10 at the moment.
Special shout out to Pieter Geldenhuys. Had a bit of a mishap earlier on. Came back a lap down. Very easy. Very, very easy to just get out of the car, call it quits for the evening. But not that man, Pieter Geldenhuys. No, 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 sir. Still a lap back, but he's still driving.
Of course, being in the series split, you get a solid points haul no matter where you finish, as long as you finish. And of course, we've got the second split to this championship, the challenge split happening on Wednesday evening. Same time as this evening, 8:30 as qualifying starts. And that provided some fun and games during round one, and we're looking forward to that happening again on Wednesday evening. So you can join us live here on Facebook and YouTube as well, of course. But Tim Smith looking good. I mean, he's bettering his delta time at the moment. Stretching those tires, also on the medium tire. There's the Oliphant elected to go for the softs again for his second stint. And no doubt Russell will be watching the gaps back to the drivers, and if at any time the gap starts to go down, he'll be into the pit straight away to put on a, as you say, it's a suspected set of soft tires to bring the car home.
Yeah, I will not put it past that man. I mean, he could be tempted. Could be. Just to put on mediums again and just get to the end of the race, you know. There's no real hurry. There's no one really pushing him. But knowing Gabriel, he wants to put that hammer down. He's now actually having a fight with himself. How fast he can go around this track, setting little landmarks for himself, little challenges. Keeping his mind fresh, pushing as hard as he possibly can. That's not someone that actually lets up, no matter what the gap between himself and the guy in second place.
And they'll be looking for a fantastic victory here at Monza after a difficult race on Saturday, racing for our RSA Protea Sim Sports team in the Virtual Endurance Championship, a team that comprises of the talents at Sim Race South Africa. And unfortunately, an hour and a half into the race in our LMP2 Orica Nissan, we had a lag spark from a car in front of us and destroyed our prototype car and took us out of the race. And that was heartbreaking, and no doubt Gabriel will be looking to get a bit better after this evening with a victory here at Monza. And of course, well done to you, Gert, and the GT team for coming 7th in the RSA Protea Corvette. So that was a great result for the team, Gert.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Couldn't have done it without our teammates. Boyd, Bashir, Lance Garasino. Everyone pulled their weight. Everyone did their fair share with regards to setups and getting the car around the track in one piece.
See Bashir what with another unscheduled pit stop. He's dropped down to 12th position now. So something's gone wrong with for Jadwat. And in fact, out of contention for the victory of this race, unfortunately.
Did he maybe forget to change tires or put fuel in the car or something?
Perhaps, or something's happened. I know during the last M2 race, his steering wheel came off his desk. And he had to pull aside and get the thing clamped back on and get going.
The equivalent of a broken steering rack.
There we go. Yeah.
Technical issues abound.
Yeah.
Said it many times over. We don't have pit crews that can look after our cars. We don't have someone walking around our rooms making sure that our equipment is properly bolted down and everything's working optimally and that there's no applications on our PC that's going to make our sim crash. So when these things happen, it tends to happen a lot more than someone will have a technical issue out on the track in a real car. We actually have the short end of the stick doing some racing. Knowing Bash, he might be fuming right now, no matter what caused him to drop back down to about 10th position now. But he's going to relish the next 20 laps to see how far he can push himself, catch drivers in front of him. Maybe push for a top 5. Don't know. Don't know who else still needs to pit there. Marcus Stein's definitely going to have a bit of a tough time to try and catch Leslie now because Leslie's out on fresh soft tyres.
Yeah.
Those soft tyres without any challenge from behind, without mirror pressure, is going to basically eke out half a second a lap on Marcus Stein every single lap going forward for the next 10 laps. It's not going to be easy for Marcus to stay within striking distance.
Absolutely. Oliphant now be praying that Tim Smith comes into the pit lanes. He doesn't have to pass him out on track. Because Oliphant's got a nice set of fresh soft tyres and he won't be wanting to fight Tim Smith, who's out of order at the moment. He still needs to do a pit stop. But Tim Smith doesn't need to let him pass. He's fighting for position.
Yeah, Tim is definitely not as fast as Leslie at the moment, but he is legitimately in second position. He just hasn't pitted yet. So he's under no obligation to move over, which is definitely not going to play into Leslie's hands here. Marcus, on the other hand, might be hoping that Tim Smith shows a bit of his racing skill in keeping Leslie Oliphant behind him for as long as possible, giving Marcus just enough time to get close enough to the back end of Leslie Oliphant to apply some mirror pressure.
Absolutely. And Rousseau's into the pits.
19 laps left. That is just about the amount of laps that I believe he's going to be running on soft tyres. I'm putting money on him coming out in softs.
Still reflecting medium tires. How much money do you putting down? So still on the medium tire for now. Let's see.
There is no way he would be doing 31 laps on mediums.
Thank goodness I didn't put any money down on that one. So Gabriel leaves the pit lane in the soft tire as Fat predicted.
Exactly. He is so meticulous. There is no way he would have stopped 31 laps in on mediums and then come out in mediums again. There's just no way. Because that's not maximizing the potential of the car, and that's what Gabriel's all about. Maximizing the potential of the car, his lap times, his finishing position, everything. If he's going to be pitting by lap 31, 32, guaranteed he's coming out on a softer tire. Now, without putting the mockers on him, the commentator's curse, everyone watching this currently, just have a look and see how he drives a lap of Monza. Dab of the brake, in on the inside, two wheels on the curb on the inside.
He doesn't upset the car. He keeps the momentum flowing.
That's it. There is no sudden movements, no jerkiness, no nothing. You're even going to see it inside this chicane over here. There is no sudden movements towards an apex.
Look at that. He sort of just suggests the corner and then points it in the right direction, and the car does the rest.
That's it. Now watch this for a masterclass on how to take this corner. Perfect braking, perfect turn in, perfect acceleration, using every single inch of the track.
Back on the power as soon as he could have.
Under braking for this one. Guaranteed late braking, hitting all the apexes.
Positioning the car for a good exit. And he's 2/10 up on his best Delta time.
On soft tires, hardly surprising. See how late that was. My goodness. Slight error there. Made up for it right there in that corner.
We're going to go back to the battle for second position as Oliphant is right with Tim Smith. And Stan is not too far behind. He's good 3 seconds behind these two though.
Tim Smith is sweating bricks right now. He knows he still needs to pit, but it doesn't matter right now. He's legitimately in second position. He's got no reason to let Leslie Oliphant go. He's going to fight to stay there.
Yeah. I would imagine Tim Smith, and he does his pit stop, he also come out on the softs. Interesting to see where Tim Smith finishes this race. If he does go on the soft tire, and smart money is on it, of course.
I think those two wheels on the dirt has just cost him his second position. He's going to be under severe pressure in this corner, and he's going to be taken before the end of the next one.
Got him, yeah. Will he come into the pits now? Tim Smith. We would have seen it as a sign or not. No, it looks like he's staying out. Yeah.
Well, Leslie managed to get past without too much of a fanfare.
Yeah.
Which means if Tim Smith stays out for a little bit longer, it's then going to be up to Marcus Steyn to find his way past.
Lindsay Rayner under pressure from a recovering Bashir Judd Watt. This is the fight for 7th position.
Ah, that looks like a three-way battle for 7th, eh?
Jadwat goes outside.
Yeah,
Try
Brent's
now
not going to
break
make this
Lindsay,
easy
right?
for him. Oh, that's just got him.
Yeah. Steven Sparks just running on at turn 1, letting this field go past him, put a lap on him. Intelligent driving there by Steven Sparks. Brandon Smith having a good run, still in 11th position. Or against all odds racing.
Peter Geldnes must have had either an unscheduled pit stop or a bit of a mishap somewhere, because he actually lost half a lap on 17th position. He was like exactly 1 lap back from 17th. He's now
There's a move from Brandon
1.4 back.
Smith. Oh, he gets it all sideways. And Smith has to abandon that attempt on Governor for 10th. But the against all odds racing Porsche running well here at Monza. Yeah, Holden-Jones, he's lost a bit of time again. You're quite right, Gert.
About a third of a lap that he lost there. Third of a lap being just about half a minute, just over half a minute. Looks like an unscheduled pit stop to me.
Smith now coming under pressure from Marcus Steyn. He's just about 0.8 of a second behind him.
They must play this smart.
Yeah.
I personally believe he needs to go pit now and get out while there's still those big gaps behind him, with the drivers behind him. Maybe he can pop out just behind Wesley Ferrant in like a 7th position.
Jadwat is flashing his... Oh no, that's Marcus Steyn flashing his lights at Tim Smith.
Get in the pits, young man.
Yeah, put the soft tires on, Tim. And give it horns to the end. Come on with a solid result now. He's staying out.
Yeah, I don't know how wise that is.
Yeah, he's about 3/10 down his best time there in this last lap. It's not too bad, but he would, of course, as you said, benefit from stopping on the soft tire now.
Whatever time you lose now, you're literally giving to the guys behind you.
Yeah. He's probably just enjoying running so far up the order.
Look, you can't blame him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, you know, in the grand scheme of things, maximizing your finishing potential, sometimes you need to make the smart call, the smart play. And it's not really smart to stay out there and compromise your driving lines, run deep in most corners.
Oh, contact.
Oh, my word. Exactly.
Oh.
Dude, you need to get in the pits now.
I don't want to make any assumptions right now, but I felt Steyn could have moved over a bit more to the right. Didn't leave Tim Smith much space there towards the left.
It looked like it to
but
me
have a
as
look
well.
at it again. Yeah.
Me telling Tim to get in the pits now is merely knowing that those tires would have had a serious knock now.
Yeah.
Get in the pits, get some fuel in that car, relax a bit, get new tires on, and have a nice push for 13 laps on softs. Get in the pits, bud. Nope, and he stays out.
He's staying out.
And Marcus Steyn giving it back. Oh my word.
He did give it back, didn't he? So perhaps what I said earlier is exactly what happened. Marcus Steyn making the decision that he made an error and he's given the place back to Tim Smith. Fantastic sportsmanship there by Marcus Steyn. I commend you, sir.
Essentially giving up his chase on second position.
Didn't have to be so generous. He could have been a bit closer to Tim Smith towards the end of that first corner, but perhaps he just wanted to make absolutely sure that Tim Smith would find his way past. Well done, Marcus. Great stuff.
Fantastic to watch. I'm actually at a loss for words.
Just shows you the caliber of racing here that we're witnessing.
With 13-14 laps to go, he literally gave up chasing down the guy in second position to give back a position because of a touch on a car that saw someone lose a position.
Yeah.
Shows great character there.
Absolutely.
When will Tim go into the pits?
I'm not saying this, but I just hope he realizes that he has to do a pit stop, but I'm sure he knows that and he realizes that. I'm sure this is part of his strategy.
Let's hope so.
Oh. Don't make me give you a penalty, Tim, please.
Otherwise, he's been sitting out there for about 15 laps now, wondering what on earth did I do to be in third position?
I'm flying.
Everyone else is slow.
We've got somebody off. Who's off? That's one of the Porsches just getting out the way. Was he stuck on the... Oh, I think he's stuck on the curb. He's got going again. There's Hutton. Who else is close together? No, there's not really anyone close together, is it? Rousseau just puts a lap on Steven Sparks in the very striking Audi R8. Great to have Steven in the top split in simGT.
Fantastic progression. From where he started in a open race one evening. Great to see him make his debut in the simGT Pro Split. Whoops. Just put the mockers on him.
Yeah, I think he's just giving way to Amrish Sinaran, who's a lap ahead of him. Very generous there by Steven, making absolutely sure that Amrish has got safe passage past. Tim Smith is in the pits. Eventually, finally, there he is. Leaves the pit lane. And he will rejoin in sixth position. That's a huge net gain for Tim Smith.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes, but considering that Dash needed to stop a second time,
True.
Yeah, he may have been out in 7th position.
Yeah, as we say here, if he did stop earlier, you probably would have been ahead of, probably running with Chris Heenop at the moment.
I do believe that if he stopped earlier, you know, obviously hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
he would have missed that little incident with Chris Heenop. He wouldn't have lost that time going off track. He would have had maybe a different track condition. The moment he came out, a little bit of clean air.
And Tim
Hindsight's
Smith is
always
still,
2020.
he's stayed on the medium tire. I'm actually wondering if he actually changed his tires, because he was very quick on his stop and then he launched straight away. So perhaps he didn't take on any fuel with tires and he's on his original tires still. I'm not quite sure. But that seems like quite a net game for Tim Smith. I think he's running down right on 11th, if I'm not mistaken. So,
well, if
yeah.
he's 4.5 seconds behind Wesley Ferrand and he didn't do a tire swap and he didn't put in fuel,
yeah,
he just need to stop and run, he might actually be able to chase down Wesley.
Yeah.
Because if he's been doing this race with a full tank of fuel, enough for 50 laps, he's obviously going to be a lot lighter now. But then you also have the extremely warm tires that he's on right now.
Yeah. Of course, you know, this strategy is the one that's used in the M2 series, where the guys literally just stop the car and take off again to count as a pit stop. And perhaps Tim Smith has taken this over into the GT series, and this is the first time we've seen it. And why not? If it's going to work, I mean, the man's right up into 6th position, and he's making it work for him. So kudos to Tim Smith. Great race, sir. Still think of course, the strategy of pitting late to take the soft tires is perhaps faster, but yeah, this is also working for Tim.
Yeah, the net gain of running with a little bit less fuel. Maybe just putting in a little bit of fuel, taking the soft tires later, gaining another second a lap simply because you're on the soft tire. It's I think overall, that strategy, like Gabriel also has done it, maximizing it, pitching right about lap 31, 32, that is ultimately probably the fastest strategy for the day. Extremely mechanical, extremely methodical, but planned down to the T.
Just 9 laps remaining. He's just so with it's a 30-second lead ahead of Leslie Oliphant. Marcus Steyn back into 3rd position. Chris Heineck up into 4th. Runt in 5th in the first of the non-Audi runners in the Lamborghini. And Tim Smith has moved away from Bashir Jadwat, if I'm not mistaken. He's got about a 3-second lead on Jadwat.
I tell you what, if there's a driver that I am seriously stoked for right now, it is Chris Heineke in 4th position.
Absolutely.
Kept his clean for as long as possible, and might actually end up with one of his better finishing positions in simGT for a while.
Absolutely.
What on earth happened to Nazim Edwards? He's now
He's
0.6 of a lap behind Peter Geldenhuys. No, he's 1.8 laps behind Peter Geldenhuys.
Yeah, he's dropped right back. I don't know what's happened to him.
Did he disconnect and rejoin?
It looks like a disconnect and rejoin gap if I ever saw one.
Because I don't care where you put your car on track. Yeah, you're not going to lose a lap. 0.8. 1.8 laps just by having an accident.
Yeah, that looks like a disconnect, definitely. So fortunately for Edwards running right up there at the front and he finds himself in 19th position. Just looking to bring that Burstworks Audi home now. We're going to go back to the battle for 6th position between Tim Smith and Bashir Jadwat. Oh, Jadwat always gets it all wrong. That last corner, wow.
And a lot of these drivers just can't seem to shake Ghostworks. Tim Smith was just involved in a massive battle with Marcus Steyn. Now he needs to contend with Bashir Jadwat.
I'm gonna say it, Jadwat is haunting Smith.
Badum dish.
Yes, I did.
He just did it, folks. No, you didn't. Yes, you did.
Jamal Gondor now up into 14th position. I think he had a pretty early pit stop, so he doesn't have to stop again. But he's gained a good couple of positions. He's actually, I think he's ahead of his teammate Tim, Stephen, and Chad.
Bashir Jadwat's going to make that move on Tim Smith. Getting dangerously close. Oh my word. That is not an enviable sight. Seeing that car in your mirror.
Jadwat is about to possess Tim Smith.
No!
Yes. Yo, Jadwat's just placed him now. He's gonna have him surely.
I'm actually thinking he's going to take him after the exit of this corner. This is the time to be super smooth, late on the brakes, turning in,
oh,
get on the gas.
There. Oh, no, it's gonna...
And wait for it, Tim Smith gave up the ghost.
Oh. We are 3 for 3.
Wrong,
we heal not.
All I hear is crickets.
I can hear my wife's rolling eyeballs from here, and I'm on the other side.
It's a deathly, ghostly silence.
Oh no!
It just doesn't stop.
You're kidding it. Awesome.
He appeared in his mirror like an apparition. I'll stop now, I promise.
Classic. Alright, who else is close together? I don't think we've got anybody. Jadwat's moving away from Tim Smith now. Go back to our leader.
Yeah, Brent might be putting a move onto Matthew Boy soon. I don't think it's going to happen straight away though. But
look at that gap, yeah. I'll keep watching it. Boy's on the soft tire on the Ferrari.
Gabriel Rousseau is just knocking off the laps one after the other. No mess, no fuss. Probably putting a nice little target in front of himself, like how many cars can I lap before the end of this race?
Absolutely.
If no one's going to be chasing me down, what kind of milestones can I put in front of myself to knock off? I think Tim Smith's tyres is not his best friend right now. He's lost, in the space of a lap, he's lost 5 seconds on Bashir Jadwat.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of thing you want. Brent Lindsay Ray got a second back on Matthew Boy. Gaining quite rapidly on him. Ever shrinking that gap. Makes me wonder, well, what kind of downforce is Brent Lindsay Ray running? Because he's not supposed to be catching that Ferrari so quickly. Not in a straight line. Unless, of course, the Ferrari's got some serious downforce issues right now. Too deep! Too deep! No,
Yeah.
you're going to have to give that position back, bud.
Boy saw him coming. He also just kept out of his way. Sure he will. Yeah.
There you go. When I saw him blitz past the underside of that bridge, I knew all sorts of trouble was on the way. Unless he's got super glue on those brake pads, it ain't gonna stop. And what that little move has done, they'll put another car that they recently lapped right up there behind. That's now looking to unlap themselves. Brent taking him. Was that Gabriel lapping?
That's just Gabriel just flying past.
Oh my word.
That man is everywhere this evening.
Let's just lap 9th and 8th position for fun, shall we?
At the same time.
Bashir's actually in a position to do something about catching Wesley Farrant. Considering where he was, it would be a phenomenal fight back to the position that he was in.
Absolutely. We're going to move from Lindsay Ray now around the outside of Matthew Boy down the back straight.
Wow.
And Lindsay Ray's got him. Good move.
Well done, Lindsay Ray.
Wow, Lindsay Ray in the Echo Racing Audi R8. Steve Boy can come back at him.
Has got 3 laps to get Mr. Farrant. That's a second a lap minimum and passing him that he needs to find from somewhere.
Good drive here by Matthew Boy out of that last corner, Parabolica. He's got him in the slipstream, the Audi R8. He's close enough to make a move.
Okay, so that's 2 laps remaining. Not repeating that same braking maneuver.
No.
Oh, not quite maximizing that corner. Maybe guilty of overdriving the car a little bit there. Decent exit there though.
Yeah.
Bash found a second and a half that last lap on Wesley Farrant. Can he find a way past Wesley with a lap to go? Bash is going to nail every single corner. Throw all caution to the wind here. Catch every last bit of slipstream he possibly can on this lap. See if he can't maybe sneak past.
Yeah, race dealer Gabriel has started the very last lap of this round 2 of the simGT series at Monza. And I think Jadwat's going to run out of time before he's able to make a move
I don't think so.
Farrant.
I don't think so. He just gained half a second on Farrant. Very, very good exit. He's now 0.5 of a second behind him. He gained a second since the start of his lap.
Oh, Jadwat's on the ragged edge.
He's using every single inch of that
Giving
track.
it absolutely all.
No, he's just not going to have enough legs.
But it is Gabriel Rousseau,
Fantastic
just
job.
one corner remaining for Rousseau to take victory here at Monza. His second victory of the season for round 2. So it's 2 for 2 for Gabriel Rousseau and mixed racing White.
Awesome job, Gabriel.
Flag victory for Gabriel Rousseau. Congratulations to you, sir. Monumental drive.
Can we
There's the
perhaps
Olive
jump back to
Front.
Bashir Jadwat there? Because he's obviously got this lap to finish.
And Jadwat is trying to spook Wesley Farrant on this very last lap.
It's not stopping, folks.
We are 5 for 5. Leslie Oliphant will get second position. Just 6 seconds ahead of Marcus Steyn. Fantastic drive by Leslie Oliphant and RPM Sim Racing team. And Marcus Steyn will complete the podium in 3rd position. And a crazy drive by Chris Heinecker sees him up to 4th position before the end. And here comes Jadwat.
I don't know how wise that was.
Going to be all about that last corner.
He's giving this the beans.
Chris Heinecker gets a well-deserved
oh my word, can he
position.
Get the drive? This is bonkers. Just doesn't have the legs to get there. Great stuff, great entertainment.
Just be Jadwat to 5th position. Congratulations to Wesley Front and Jadwat. Good drive by them. Tim Smith will get a well-deserved 7th position. Great drive by Tim Smith with an interesting strategy.
Lots of smoke.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes round 2 of the South African simGT series at Monza. Gert, thank you very much for joining me. It was fascinating and exciting to watch.
Yeah, I need a shot of brandy right now. There was a lot of excitement in that race. I need to bring myself down from the high.
Yeah.
Awesome joining you.
Fantastic.
Great entertainment.
Absolutely. Well,
Let's
thank you
hope we
very
don't
much,
see any more
everyone.
ghosts tonight.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. And don't forget, if you're interested in joining us at SimRace South Africa, please visit our website at simracesa.co.za. Register on the forum and put your name down for your first open race with us. From me, Jason Holden-Jones and Gert James, thank you very much for joining us. And join us again on Wednesday evening for the challenge split round of the SS simGT series. Until then, goodbye for now.
Ciao.